Let's welcome to the show Fox Nation host Tomi Lahren's back with us. Tomi, we love having you on. Okay, let's deal with this first. New Hunter Biden emails show the divide between the Biden camp and the Clinton camp. Hunter ripping into Bill Clinton, calling him a really nasty word. We're going to show it. After Bill Clinton on the campaign trail threw Joe under the bus, saying Hillary didn't vote for Biden's crime bill. She wasn't in the Senate then. And then Hunter Biden in emails slamming Hillary and Bill Clinton aides as greedy, petty, and venal. So there's a lot of backbiting and fighting between Democrats. Your take?
Well, at the time, I think that the Clinton family was probably very worried that Biden was going to jump into the race. And I think now the Clinton family probably wants to jump into the race in 2024. So I think you're going to see more of that infighting between the Biden family and the Clinton family. I can't say that I necessarily disagree with Hunter on, the nature of the Clinton family and Bill Clinton and what have you. But it just goes to show what a political liability Hunter is going to be, not only for Joe Biden, but for the Democrat Party. They have a lot of answering to do. Not that corporate media or mainstream media is ever going to ask that of this administration, but they certainly need to, because there's a whole lot we're hearing from Hunter that we need to hear from Joe about.
Yeah, and what Hunter is apparently these emails are talking about is how the Clinton team members were double dipping. They were taking government salaries while taking Clinton Foundation or Clinton Library salaries. That seems to be part of it. We also have that, and we also have a New York Times book is basically saying that the Biden team was saying that Obama's team is now jealous of the Biden White House. Your take on that?
Well, I don't think anybody could be jealous of the Biden White House. I don't think any Democrat is, certainly not the Obamas, the Clinton, or anybody else. But I think what we're seeing here also is the unraveling of Hunter Biden and how that's going to impact, like I said, not only Joe, but the Democrat Party. I do think it's interesting, though, they would criticize the Clinton Foundation when you look at Hunter Biden's business dealings that I know we're going to get into. But, at least the Clinton Foundation masqueraded as a charitable organization, not so much for whatever Hunter Biden was making money on. That is the real question here.
Okay, so let's turn to this. You brought that up. Okay, so the Daily Mail is reporting this, too, that emails from Hunter Biden's laptop reveal that Joe Biden did agree to pay Hunter's legal fees for Hunter's overseas deal with a Chinese government-controlled company. That Biden has repeatedly claimed he had no knowledge of Hunter's deal-making. It looks like Joe agreed to pay tens of thousands of dollars in Hunter's legal bills. So more and more, Tomi,
either way,
this keeps coming out. Your take. Go ahead.
Yeah, either way, this looks bad. So Joe claims that he had no knowledge of Hunter's business dealings. So either he did have knowledge and he flat out lied about it, or he's paying for legal fees and things that he has no idea what he's paying for, which also goes to him being, the commander in chief and the one that's running our nation. He's just paying for things he's not sure what he's paying for. All problematic. But I think that it's probably more the former, that he knew exactly what he was paying for. And then it goes back to these emails and what exactly were the kickbacks that Hunter Biden was receiving, or even Joe Biden for that matter. Was Joe Biden receiving kickbacks? Was he getting money from foreign leaders, foreign ventures, foreign dealings? And if so, oh boy, there's a lot more to answer for here than just some nasty emails about the Clinton family.
Tomi, the more Joe Biden raises the temperature, the more he gets vocal, the more he gets angry. Is that an indication there's truth to this? Because, the same year that Joe reportedly took on these bills, legal bills for Hunter Biden, Biden said, no one in my family will have an office in the White House, will sit on cabinet meetings, listen in or have any business relationship with anybody that is connected to a foreign corporation. But, the emails indicate none of that was true. Hunter Biden's business partner visited the White House when Biden was vice president at least 27 times. This is Fox Digital reporting that. We know House Republicans are going to look into this if they take back control of Congress. But is it that the way you watch this story, Tomi, is that the more they bully, the more they get loud, the more they raise their voices and get angry over this, is that an indication there's truth to it?
I believe so, and I believe it's the media's job to be asking these questions each and every single day, if not to Joe himself, certainly to Jen Psaki. But I do think that if Joe is asked these questions repeatedly, I think that he will unravel. I think that he will expose more than he wants to, because we all know that when he's asked difficult questions, and the Easter Bunny isn't there to save the day, that he often answers things that his team really wishes he wouldn't. So it needs to be asked and needs to be pressed upon every single day. And we also need an independent special counsel.
Tomi, is this why President Obama kept Joe Biden off the campaign trail because Obama knew what was going on with Hunter Biden.
Well, that, and then also Joe Biden is just a gaffe machine, and I don't think he can really be trusted to stand on his own 2 feet, certainly now. So he's been a political liability, not only for Obama. Hunter is a political liability for Joe. But really, we need to go back to what this means for the United States of America. Boy, I wish that Joe Biden was as interested in seeing America win and profit as he is seeing his own family members win and profit. Enough coddling your family members. You're the president of the United States. You have a lot to answer for. And there's also, Liz, missing millions of dollars unaccounted for that Joe Biden raked in. Boy, I'd sure like to know what that was for.
We saw the reports on that. We'll stay on the story. Tomi Lahren, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you.